Staying with the subject of crime and policing, this week we also saw the release of a shocking report into conduct at the Metropolitan Police. London Mayor Sadiq Khan has put Met Police Commissioner Cressida Dick on notice over allegations of misogyny, racism and bullying within the force. And this was after an investigation by the Independent Office for Police Conduct into behaviour by officers at Charing Cross Police Station. Among the evidence they found were appalling WhatsApp messages between officers, including jokes about rape and sexual violence. And all this comes after it emerged that only 6% of crimes in England are solved. Joining me now, I'm delighted to have Peter Bleksley, a former Scotland Yard detective who spent years working undercover as a gangster to take drugs, weapons and fake goods off the market. He's also been a star of the Channel 4 series Hunted. That's where ordinary members of the public and celebrities go on the run around the country and are tracked down. Peter's been highly critical of the leadership of the Met, including the handling of the inquiry into parties in Number 10. Earlier this month, Peter tweeted that Cressida Dick doesn't lead, she follows. Well, thank you very much for coming in. You were already quite critical of the Met Police Commissioner before this report about the behaviour at Charing Cross. How are you feeling about her status now?
Well, I've sort of defended her over the years, many times on the media up until recently. People have said, should she go? And this follows dreadful episodes like the Wayne Couzens and murder of Sarah Everard and other dreadful, dreadful periods and experiences. But just of late, I'm afraid, from my personal standpoint, speaking as a former Met Police detective, I think she's run out of road, quite simply. For me, that dreadful lack of judgment that she showed in not launching an investigation as soon as the Mirror and ITV released those allegations of potential offences being committed at Downing Street, because they were criminal offences that were being alleged, and crime is a matter for the police. For her to sit on her hands and say, we're not going to investigate those,
Why do you think she did that? Was that political? I mean, was she just trying to sort of secure her position?
Well, you see, it gives fuel to the conspiracy theorists, doesn't it? And that question that you've just asked, why did she make that appalling non-decision to investigate? I think she needs to answer for that, because many conspiracy theories are running rampant as a result of that. And if she'd said right from the start, we're investigating these allegations, there would have been no need for the Sue Gray inquiry and the consequent report. And we wouldn't now find ourselves mired in this farcical no man's land where there are two bodies that have investigated the same allegations, and we've had one report redacted and part silenced and the like. We wouldn't be in this situation if Cressida Dick had shown the correct judgment and launched an investigation the minute those allegations were made.
What did you make of that pretty irregular instructional guidance from the Met Police not to publish the Sue Gray report in case it prejudices their own investigations? I thought that was all pretty strange.
Well, yet again, this situation wouldn't have arisen if Cressida Dick had said right from the beginning, the Met are going to investigate, which is what she should have done. All of this indecision, all of this entire unsatisfactory situation is of Cressida Dick's making.
And what about that report into the behaviour of officers at Charing Cross Police Station? I mean, it was focused on that particular branch of the police, wasn't it? Is there a suggestion that it is much more widespread, the kind of cultural things that were highlighted there?
I had the huge misfortune to read all of those messages this week.
Right.
And they have no...
Bet you wish you hadn't.
Oh, they have no place in society, let alone in amongst the police service that we entrust to keep us safe, to come to us in our moments of dire need. They were utterly shameful. There is, of course, an inquiry into the standards of culture of the Met Police.
And have all the officers concerned now, have they been disciplined, fired, whatever, or is that still an ongoing process? 2
are no longer serving. Another 9, I understand, have been subject to some form of disciplinary procedure and have clung on to their jobs.
Right.
Baroness Casey is now carrying out a report into the standards and culture
Right.
of the Metropolitan Police. It will be very interesting to see what her conclusions are. And this comes on the back, of course, of the appalling Sarah Everard murder. There clearly is a problem. I and other commentators for many, many years have said there may be a few rotten apples. Well, that few seems to be growing in number and growing in number. And in order to protect the good cops, of which there are so many, the ones who are brave and courageous and are fantastic public servants, for those people to see an example being set, I want Baroness Casey's report to be thorough, decisive, and I think Cressida Dick should go, to set an example that when your judgment fails so dreadfully, you don't remain as a police officer.
Thank you for that very powerful call there. And I hope you'll come on another time to talk to us about your hunt to find Britain's most wanted man. Absolutely fascinating. That's still ongoing, isn't it?
It very much is. The hunt for Kevin Parle, who was up an enormous amount of my time, and I will not rest until he is found.
And this is a double murderer, or somebody accused of double murder?
Yes.
He's been on the run for how long?
17 years. He's not been convicted of these crimes because he jumped police bail, and he's wanted for the murder of a 16-year-old boy, Liam Kelly, and a 22-year-old mother of 3 young children, Lucy Hargreaves. And for Liam and Lucy, for their memories, for some kind of justice to be achieved for them, I decided to hunt down Kevin Parle. I've been searching for him now for nearly 3 years. Something happens in relation to this hunt every day of the week.
Wow.
I've never been more enthused about doing anything in my life, and I simply will not rest.
We think he's overseas, don't we? He's certainly not in the UK.
It would be foolish of me to tip him the wink as to where I think or where I may know that he actually is. But what I will say is he's not in the UK.
Thank you so much for coming in to talk to us all about that, Peter Bleksley, and do come on again on your hunt for Britain's most wanted man.